How's it going, everybody? My name is Jesus, and this is Behind the Breeders. I'm here with my co-host.
My name is Jonathan with Escobar Kennels, and today we are here with Ryan with Pristine. How you doing today, Bubba?
I'm good, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you coming on as well.
We had to get an OG on here, bro. I've been telling everybody, man, we got to get a different perspective and someone who's been in the game for 10 plus years, man. So I appreciate you coming out, bro.
It's been fun, man. It's been its up and downs, you know.
So when did you get
Changing
started?
breed and shit. Well, I don't know, man. I've always been a fan of pit bulls. So as a kid, I got this little dog named Bogey.
Bogey?
Yeah, he didn't have papers, but he was a pit bull. He slept with me. I found him one night coming home pretty late at night. I think I was a junior in high school. Coming down the highway. I live way out of town. And this little damn dog come running out in front of me, and I'm doing 75. Hammered the brakes, and that fool just stopped in front of me. Whoa.
You didn't get him?
I saw it was a pit bull.
Was
and
it a
I was
puppy?
Black Brindle, and I was all over it, man. He had a little white chest, little white mark in the front of his face, and picked him up, put him in the car, drove home, jumped in bed, put him in bed with me, woke up with my mom saying, "What did you bring home?" Another dog. But it's a pit this time.
So you already had dogs prior to this?
Yeah, man. I was as a kid. I was like stealing my dog's dog food to feed the strays out there. I grew up in the sticks, so in Santa Fe, New Mexico, out of Santa Fe, a little bit, you know, in the county, and people used to dump their dogs out there by my house, man. Oh. And when I was about 7, my mom kind of told me what was going on, and man, from there, I was just taking my dog's dog food and, you know, I'll throw it around the yard and these strays would come up and eat. And then it's about 10, 11 years old and animal control started showing up and these dogs started disappearing. And I found out, my mom kind of told me what was going on, and I was just shocked that these dogs had to be picked up and euthanized, you know?
Damn. And it's not every day you really find a pit bull, especially around that time. You know what I mean? It's not like your typical stray, so that's kind of a come up. You know what I mean?
Was.
Back then.
He had bully features too, which was really cool. He had a big head, a lot of bone. Just, you know, what we call a bully now. You know, just an early version of a bully.
Okay. So you've been in the game for a while. So if you've always been a dog lover, when did you start Pristine Kennels?
It probably took place when I got my first house. I was 24 years old, and with my mom's help, we went ahead and got a house. She co-signed for me. I was working in the golf industry, working on becoming a Class A professional. I kind of got burned on a job that brought me to Tucson, and I decided to quit. Golf, man. After 10 years of playing golf every day, scratch player, first level PGA program, and I quit.
So you were really, really good at golf.
I expected myself to be a professional athlete.
I never knew that, bro. Holy shit. Now I'm learning some stuff about you, bro.
That's the whole point of Behind the Breeders, man. We got to get to know who you are, who is Pristine. So you quit golfing. You've already loved dogs. You quit golfing. And when did you purchase your first dog with papers?
Okay, so what happened is I got a job right now. I was a salesman selling motorcycles, and ran into a gentleman that was buying a motorcycle, and he said, "Hey, I got these bullies." So what's a bully, you know? It was a pit bull. So I said, "Oh, man, I love pits." And it had features that were exaggerated of what a pit bull was.
Around what time is this? Would you remember?
2007 or 8, right before the housing market fell apart.
Okay.
I purchased my house right before then, so I kind of got lucky on that sense. So I was able to buy a dog from this gentleman. That was my first, what I thought bully, but it ended up being a pit bull. You know, we all buy a dog thinking we're going to get it, right?
It seems to be the first one, too.
Yeah, it is. I paid an arm and the leg. I don't even want to tell you.
No, we got to know, bro. That was my next question.
I paid $2,500 for a pit bull.
Okay, with papers, though.
With papers, yeah. AKC, bloodlines were gaff, and mostly gaff and some stuff out of Mexico. It did have Amstaff. phenotype to it because it was shorter than a regular pit bull, and it was starting to get bully, but it just was still a pit bull. It wasn't an American bully yet.
Okay. Do you remember the name of the dog?
Blanca.
Blanca. So it was a female.
It's a female. Yep.
And then you bred her?
I did. I bred her to actually my first American bully I ever bought, which was from Lewis from OCK Kennels, Oregon Coast Kennels, which he kind of started. If you heard of those initials, you kind of know.
That's what I was about to
brand.
say. That because right when you said OCK, and the first thing came in my head is obviously Seuss. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting to know.
Yeah, Cali Rick teamed up with him. This is before Frenchies, and they were doing bullies.
Okay, shout out
okay.
OCK.
Yep.
Okay,
He lit the fire under Rick, I believe. I mean, I think Rick had it always. He's always had it in everything he's ever done. But when Lewis got in it, he brought in Rick, and then it almost allowed Lewis to kind of, I don't want to say, step down a little bit and hand the torch to Rick, and Rick just took off. We all know what Rick's done with.
And still doing. He's still
doing it.
Yeah,
still
bro.
doing
He
it.
actually came out with a video recently. I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but he was going on and he's like, you know what? A lot of people have been saying this. A lot of people have been saying we're slowing down, but we're here, baby. You know what I mean? And he literally came out.
He's still going to shows and putting in footwork and doing everything
bro.
he needs to. Shout out Rick, man. OCK Cali
That
Rick.
was one of the first people I seen
Rick.
with a nice compound, you know what I mean? That you go, you spend a bag, you know what I mean? You get a
Yeah.
Susie, the certificate. He's been doing his thing.
Mad
Definitely.
Man.
Mad
We need
pro.
to get him on the podcast. Rick,
Definitely.
man, come on the podcast, bro.
Come
Yeah,
on,
we waiting
Rick.
for you,
Come
Rick.
on,
We got a
Rick.
seat right here for you, bro.
I got some questions for you.
Okay, so you got your first bully now. You were American bully besides the pit bull you paid for.
Yeah.
And then you bred those two together.
So I bred those two together, and the bloodlines off of the bully I bought was a sugar-free son to True, which was a little road daughter. And she was a pure Razor's Edge, but she was half gaff, half Razor's Edge.
Yeah, I haven't heard of Razor's Edge in a minute, man. I remember before I got
Much
locked
props
up,
to
they
Dave
were-
Wilson.
They were the
I was gonna
hottest
say, I
thing
remember
out,
that
man.
name.
Razor's
I
Edge.
remember that name.
It was hot, man.
That was hot. It was like
hot.
bullies. There was Gotti Line and Razor's Edge, and everything else
Gotti
was a
line.
month.
That was another big line down there. Gotti line.
Yep. And I remember Gotti's being bigger than Razor Edge dogs. It was crazy. And now Gotti dogs are smaller than Razor Edge dogs.
So how did you like the switch between pit bulls and bullies?
Well, it was a dog that liked to work to a dog that was lazier. And I'm not sure what really made the dog lazier. Maybe the fact that just it got thicker.
A lot thicker.
A lot
They
thicker.
put a lot more,
thicker,
They
yeah.
put a lot more meat on them bones.
And it was intense because you could see these breedings and the improvement they were making on each breeding off the offsprings were just, you could see they knew what they were doing. They were cooking. They were not going backwards.
And then around this time, because this is way before my time, what were the dogs going for? Like if you were one of the big breeders back then, what were these dogs, whether it was a male or a female or even a stud?
So when I got my first Razor Edge dog, which was Splenda, sugar-free son, I paid $2,000 for him, and he was last pick male.
Okay.
So I believe the first pick male out of that litter sold for about $5,000.
Interesting.
So
the price really went up with inflation.
it did. It really, I saw the prices go crazy on the American Bully when Miyagi showed up. That dog really changed the game, and he made me leave American Bullies. Well, not leave them, but know that I wasn't going after that movement because I knew it was not pure.
What movement are you going for?
I'm a show guy. I like to win. I like winning at dog shows. A lot of my breedings have been to produce show dogs. To do registry dogs from ABKC, USBR. A lot of the bully registries I've designed my show dogs for. Bully registries, not necessarily the AKC. I do have a dog that is my best production when it comes to show dogs, touring right now and doing AKC. But he does get knocked on a little bit. I don't think he'll go extremely far in the AKC because he's just too bully for the AKC.
But he's been killing it, bro.
But he kills it. He does. He does
Every
win
single
AKC, just doesn't get the...
What is he more exotic?
No, he's not exotic. He's really he's the best dog I've ever built to date. Like, I cannot find something wrong with him. I can't. I can sit there and look at him and try to pick him apart, and I can't pick him apart. I can pick on his, like, top line a little bit. I wish he had a little more roach in the back, but that's about it. Other than that, he's perfect.
So how did the transition come? So when did you see the first Frenchie? Because that's what I want to know. When were you like, you know what, the bullies are cool, but what is this Frenchie little thing doing over here? Okay. When did that happen?
That's a really good question. So, if I'd say it'd have to start around the time my good friend Noy that created Bistro. I don't know if you guys know who Bistro is. He's one of the most winningest ABKC American bullies out there. My buddy Noy produced him, sold him to the bully market, and then he bought this little dog named Mr. Frenchie. I still remember the first day. He said, "You gotta come over and see this little dog I got." You know, so I got down there a couple days. I was living up in, I think I was in Riverside or I was up in the high desert. So I had to go down to San Diego to go see the dog. You know, I made some work out of it, got down there, got to his house. And man, he said, "You got to see this dog." And I still to this day, I still haven't seen a Frenchie like this, man. He's like, "He's in there." And I'm like, "What?" In this little tiny box, plastic kennel, he's got him in there. And I get down there on the ground and I look in there and this little dog sitting there with bows.
What year was this? Approximately.
Let me see. I want to say 2010 or 11, maybe.
Damn.
Like, yeah, it was like right around there, somewhere in there. And I was like that. I was sold. I didn't even know what it was, and I wanted the fuck out of it. And I said, "What is this thing?" He said, "It's a French bulldog." I said, "What? Let me see." He pulls him out. He lets me hold him, and I'm just, bro, I know I'm switching breeds. So I start talking to him about like what these things cost, and I'm like, these are really expensive at the time, especially for something like this. He told me what he paid for it. I don't want to tell anybody because it was a lot of money for a dog back then. But I do know it changed his life, kind of like what Biggie did for you. I saw the dog come in his life, and man, everything changed for him. He got lock-ins. He created lock-ins for Frenchies.
That's badass.
He was taking him to dog shows, Glen Helen back in the day, original ABKC shows, and people were locking this dog in, and I was just in awe, like, wow, I got to get in on this. And I was trying to buy his mom, but it was $15,000, and I just could not figure out how to come up with it.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
even today, bro. Shit.
It's a lot. Back then, that was just, I mean, but you knew there was something there special because you saw him, so you knew if you could get her, there's a chance you can make him.
Around this time, was there any of the bigger camps around in the sense of like
there was no
Grinch
bloodlines.
being existed? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. So
no bloodlines. No Frenchie bloodlines in the U.S. at all yet.
So when you got in the game, there was no
bloodlines. No. Everyone was trying to buy dogs coming out of hungry.
I was about to say, where did he come from?
He was Hungarian. He was a shark line dog.
Okay.
Little Blue Predator was, I believe, his father or grandfather, which started all the XB stuff, which is the foundation for Dogtown. That's why I can mix XB with Dogtown. And then for some reason, Grinch works. I don't know why, but it does.
Hell yeah.
I'll run with it hard. I'm running with it hard now. I wish I had a little more XB, but the XB stuff is like the breeders behind XB are kind of fading.
So when you got in the game, did you have any breeders that you looked up to?
As in Frenchies, no.
No Frenchies. What about?
Well, besides from my mentor, Dogtown,
okay.
Vincent, I idolized him because he was a young man who got out of high school and went to work for a vet. He didn't get educated, or just go into a JC or something like that to get a vet tech certificate. He just went right to work, and man, he worked in the industry just up till the last few years and retired from it.
Hell yeah!
And I learned everything from that guy, man. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, yeah.
Swear.
Yeah, shout out Vincent, man.
Shout out Dogtown.
Oh yeah.
And he's kind of, I won't say He's just not breeding as much. He's focusing on his new career. Like I said, he retired out of the industry, the vet industry, and now he's working on his new stuff. And just wait. He's good at what he does, so just let him get in what he's doing and watch. He's gonna make waves.
Is he who you got your first dog from, your first Frenchie from?
Yes. I waited a minute, man. I shopped around for about 2 years before I bought a Frenchie. I was looking at Gomez Pits. She had a really, she was buying nice dogs and she was winning at dog shows, at ABKC shows with these dogs. So she was just I couldn't afford her. That's another thing, you know? So, I really wanted to work with her. I couldn't. So, Vincent came along and man, he blessed me. He said, look, like, I don't sell you one dog. I'll sell you 2 dogs. And I said, well, if you're going to sell me 2 dogs, you're going to help me. And he did, man. That's one reason I am the way I am today. I like anybody who gets a dog from me, I want you to breed that dog better than I could.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot comes from Vincent just really helping me and helping me understand the breed. And maybe he didn't help me much with bloodlines, but there was no bloodlines.
Yeah.
Like I said, he was the only one I knew that actually had a program breeding Frenchies. He had 2 generations when I met him.
And at that time, there wasn't really anything.
No.
So that's pretty impressive at that time to have 2 generations and there not be no bloodlines, no Grinch, no Seuss, no XB. You know what I mean?
Grinch was just coming out. Like,
it was just...
I saw Grinch for the first time. I had already bred the Micro Machine. I had a little female. I was considering taking the Micro Machine. My friend, Full Tilt, he decided to take his Micro Machine daughter to Grinch. It was Grinch's first, I believe, breeding outhouse, which he paid $2,500 for.
Damn. I wish it was still that.
No,
you feel me?
You can't touch his blood, bro. He's not gonna let anybody get at his blood. You gotta be serious breeder. You gotta be a serious breeder if you
or
want to breed with that
serious
guy.
bag. 50, 60.
I mean, you like serious. You gotta really, this is what you do if you're gonna breed with him.
So being an OG breeder, what do you consider it's your own bloodline?
Man, I still don't. I'm just like a lot of these guys. I believe I work with the blood. I'm gonna give a lot of it to Dogtown. That's why I have Pristine's Dogtown line, is because that's my foundation. I believe to create a bloodline, it takes 3 bloodlines brought together to make a look that's yours.
And then once you have that look, then what?
Then
that's your own bloodline?
That's your own bloodline. I'd say there's a couple breeders that have that. The newer breeder that has his look is Himline. I'm going to give him some shout outs, you know.
Shout out Himline.
You got guys like Hustle Hard. He's had his bloodline for a minute. He has his own look. You got guys that breed XB. You know, I say sometimes better than Eddie. Sorry, Eddie, but they are breeding better than you are. You hear me? Get out there, buddy. Work. Get to work.
Get to work, Eddie.
That work.
I don't even know who Eddie is, man.
Yeah, but, probably won't
I
like
don't know
me
which
for that
Eddie
one.
you're talking about.
But anyways, you know, shit, we're getting off topic again. But
No, you're good,
No, you're
brother,
good. So
you're good.
to consider a bloodline yours, you would say 3 generations.
not even
of them?
generations, 3 lines brought together, which
Okay.
could take you up to probably 6 generations.
Okay.
To get all that blood together.
Yeah, just
you
for
know?
people that are new that don't even know what generations are, because there's a lot of people that tune in and they're like, "What is a generation?" You know what I mean? So, about let's just say roughly 6, but 3 different lines coming together, and that would probably take around.
About 6 generations.
6
I
generations.
believe that's what it's going to take me. You know, I work with Dogtown for a minute to get the size, the
Yeah.
short backs, and the color, and I got it. And now I'm gone to Grinch and XB as my other 2 lines to add to my Dogtown to make my line.
There you go. Okay.
Hell yeah. So you've seen a lot of things in this industry, clearly, with all the time that you've been in it.
Man,
What are some of the biggest mistakes that you see new breeders making that pisses you off the most?
Buying males.
What?
Buying males.
Buying males. Why does that piss you off?
It's just bad. It's not a good idea. I personally, it's so hard to take a male this day in age. I don't care how badass he is, and make something of him without a shit ton of production.
That's factual. And I was saying that in the last episode too, that I feel like the game right now, remember how I was like, I feel like everybody's wanting a male. You know what I mean? It's more, it's
appealing. Like I said too, it's good from the outside looking in, but people don't see the work that it takes.
It really is, bro. Because
stuff.
every DM that I'm getting these days is like, hey, bro, do you have any males? Do you have any males? And in the back of my head, I'm like, you know what? I did make it off a male, you know, and I did well with it. But even me in my shoes telling myself back then, I should have grabbed a female. Do I regret it? Fuck no. I'll grab another male. You know what I mean?
No, he does. He don't listen to me.
But at the same time, it's like there is a lot of people wanting to get males now. And I don't really understand why. You know, obviously there's people that are successful with males. But at the same time, to me, it's like a female is just
it's a safer bet.
It's a way safer route. Depending on what you wanna go for in the sense of, I want to be a producer, or you know what I mean. There's just so many little avenues,
and it makes sense too.
Here's I don't mean to interrupt, but you can take a female, and you can make something with her. You can't take that male and make something with that male without the right female.
Why do you think that the males get a lot of the credit when it comes to breedings?
Facts.
The package the male adds. The package the male adds is what's going to get the male the credit at the end of the day.
And the male, though, not to cut you off neither, but the male does get a lot of the backlash as well too. Like if it doesn't clone itself or it doesn't necessarily produce another next level male, then they'll just put it all on like, he ain't producing.
And that's why they fade off, because they don't outproduce themselves. You get dogs that outproduce themselves. There's not a lot of them. Especially off the rip, you do 7 breedings. If you can do 7 breedings and outproduce the father twice, you got yourself a hitter. You do.
Facts.
And I have a reason I got involved with solo. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go off topic. Is because of this gentleman and the bitches he's lining up for him. He's gonna make that dog a producer.
Solo the Bull?
Yes.
Well, shout out Solo, man. With Fire French Bullies.
Solo's resume has been pretty spicy, bro. And what's crazy is that I didn't even plan for it to be that way. You know, it wasn't like, I have his fee at an unreachable fee. But for some reason, the people that are locking in Solo because of the look, they're bringing some fucking heat. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. They're not all 10s, but they are pretty good. You know, especially early on.
Is Solo off of Bolo?
Correct.
Bolo's got his own little signature look too, though. Bolo's got that
definitely.
Look,
I believe. Shout out to Mi Familia for producing him.
Oh yeah, shout out Mi Familia too.
But
their podcast
you the man.
Yeah, and I believe though, and you may agree with me, you may not, but I believe that Solo is Bolo's best son, hands down, that I've seen out there.
Yeah. Facts.
I don't really pay too much attention to Bolo's productions, but I will say that Solo is fire as hell. Yeah. And Bolo's fire as hell.
Yeah, no, Bolo's nice. Bolo definitely is nice.
So you say that getting a male is one of the biggest mistakes that you see rookies making.
I mean, I made that mistake. I grabbed Splenda.
I did too.
And
I did too.
He did, because I think the belief system I had and the work ethic I had, I went out and I bought a female for him. I bought a phenotype that was completely the opposite of him, just trying to get something small, because he was like a standard. He was a standard dog. He had a 26-inch head. He weighed about 75, 85 pounds. And he was just all bull, but I wanted smaller. You know, I've always wanted smaller until this last year and a half. Now I don't care about size.
What changed that?
Just me sitting in the backyard smoking, looking at my dogs, knowing that I want to look at my dogs and I want to look at all my dogs and be like, I love that about you. I love that about you. I love that about you. Not, I need to change that on you. I need to change that on you. You know, that's started this whole thing, man. Is like, I don't care about size anymore, because I need to fix my dogs. And if I need to go to a dog that's bigger than my dog, I'm going to that dog, because I need to double down on that trait that dog has, because that's what I want to look at.
Hell yeah. And you know, it's crazy how on both spectrums. We got two people that bought males. He bought a male, extremely successful with it. I bought a male as my first dog, horrible with it.
I failed too.
And see, that's the thing a lot of people don't understand because they see it. Like I said, it's so appealing. The stud game's so appealing from the outside looking in. But out of 10 people, what? Maybe 1-2 people make it with the stud?
If one.
Yeah.
In this day, if one makes it with the stud, wow. When I met him, I don't think he even knew what he had. I saw what he had, and I was like, fuck, I thought I had the nicest Frenchie in the state. Man.
I really didn't know what I had, bro. Because when I met him, right, his little backstory, I met him at one of our homegirls' house. He looks at Big and he was like, damn, like this dog's nice. And this is the first time in my life that I ever seen someone really evaluate the dog, you know? He comes over, he starts touching underneath his mouth to feel the bone and, you know, giving a whole exam. And in the back of my head, I'm like,
who the fuck is this?
Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And then he tells me, he's like, you know what, like, he's really nice. And then even at that point, I didn't know if he was being honest. I was like, maybe this guy's just being nice to me. You know what I mean? I didn't really know, you know? Until we kept talking, and I was like, damn, like,
you know where I fucked up? I should have slid that full 5 Gs and got a cone on that boy that day. Fuck.
You could have coned him for 5K.
I think if I would have slid him 5 Gs.
I didn't even know what a cone was back then.
I think if I would have slid him 5 Gs, I could have coned him. I bet you I could have.
What is that? Yeah, give me 5,000.
Yeah, and I still keep the dog.
No, and he could keep the dog. I just want to get invested in that little motherfucker. He was bad, bro. I thought Lazy was bad, and I saw him. Oh, this dog is so much more.
Speaking of Lazy, is that the dog that really turned it up for your camp, or which dog turned you up?
He was the first male I kept after 5 generations. He was a lot of work of just keeping bitches and just waiting for that male. I did the breeding with the male. I thought I had helped her like put dogs in that dog's pedigree. So I said, this is going to click real nice. I'm going to get a male out of it. And I kind of almost, I'm not going to say I get what I want out of my breedings, but I do get a lot of what I want out of my breedings. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just because I care so much about the dogs. I love the dogs so much, but I do get what I want out of my breedings. When I'm looking for a male, I get a male most of the time. If I'm looking for a female, I get a female, and I'm always looking for females. I don't care about males because I know I'm not going to produce a male. I might, in the next couple of generations, produce a male that everybody wants, but not right now. My females are nice enough. I'm still working on my females.
Okay.
So, and this is another question, because a lot of these questions we're going to be doing are all from the viewers.
Mm-hmm. Which we appreciate, by the way.
Yeah, they really tapped in, bro. They sent at least 15 to 20. What is some advice that you would give a new breeder, you know, coming in the game? We know what, you know, the biggest mistake you think is grabbing a male, but what is something that you would kind of coach someone that's just stepping in the game fresh in?
If you're going to drop a bag, buy a female, shop, know what you want, know the look that you want, and be sure that's the look you want, because that's going to be where you're putting your money for the next 5 years. You know, breeding is, I say to do really good in breeding, you're going to get 3 gens in 5 years.
3 gens, 5 years.
Yeah. And that's why I say in six gens, you can have a bloodline. It takes 10 years. If you breed, I'm talking breeding for me right now is like 4 breedings a year right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm not oversaturating stuff, but I cone solo with Jesus, and I'm breeding a lot of females that I have to him for females for the next male that me and this guy is going to make.
I didn't even know that you guys he coned solo. I didn't know that.
I was blessed. He didn't have to do that for me at all. He didn't have to, but he's solid, bro. I love this kid.
Hell yeah.
This has been one of my mentors early on, man. You know what I mean? When I came in the game, one of the people that actually helped me out, you know, not just taught me stuff, but motivated me is this dude right here, bro. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, you know what? He'd be perfect, because even though I'm the way I am and I grabbed males and stuff, and he may not agree with it because he wants to grab a female, he'll always tell me that shit. Not a lot of people will. You know what I mean?
Speaking of this topic, that's something that they brought up on the Bully Movement podcast that Mi Familia brought up, that and with something that we were talking about too, how the male will make your camp famous and the female will build your camp.
Yeah.
And he said too, though, that the male will make you famous, rather it's produced or bought.
Right.
How do you
Yeah.
feel about that? And
In this day and age, I don't think they care if you produce it.
I don't think so neither.
It's factual.
I don't
It's a
think so
little
neither.
unfortunate because don't get me wrong. I see both sides. You know, it's more meaningful if you do produce it. But at the same time, in this generation right now, bro, no one really gives a fuck.
They don't. They really don't.
As long as that male has a name for himself, you know, great content is doing numbers and is making a movement. The only people that are really going to care, bro, are the ones that don't matter, you know? And I just had this conversation with someone the other day and they were like, you know what, bro, don't edit your pictures too much. You kind of make them too sharp, this, and that. And I'm like, bro, I'm getting lock-ins. And this is what I told them. I'm like, the people that are telling you to not do that and to keep it natural, I promise you, bro, they're not the ones putting the lock-in money in your pocket, bro. I
Facts.
promise you.
I quit telling this guy what to do about it. I give a fuck up, man.
it was this whole time.
I tried to mentor this kid, bro. He proved me
He's over
wrong
here shooting
every
shots every
fucking time. Every time.
Hell
Me
nah.
wrong. I love it. I love it, man. He shut me down. Shows me.
But I feel like that's
Making
true
his own
too,
way.
though. I feel like that's true too because I seen another kennel out there in Kansas, man. I really don't remember the name exactly, but it's Juan Zamora. You know, shout out Juan Zamora, man. And I remember seeing him turn up when he first got problems.
Mm-hmm.
When he first got problems, like it was like a little Merle, like when the Merle bullies just came out. He
Mm-hmm.
imported it from Spain, and I seen this dude run it up, man. Like I seen him get $100K
Yep.
in 1
Yeah.
month off of just lock-ins.
Off a bully, for sure.
Off the bully, off a male just lock-in. So, and no one's ever asked like, hey, who produced that? You know, or even when I asked him like, hey, who produced it? It's like to this day, it don't
No,
matter.
and bullies, they
He
don't
got
care.
Biggie.
Nah, bro. They
Or
don't
even
care,
with
man.
Frenchies too. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like rather it's produced or bought. If the male is fire and the person behind it is producing it well. I mean, not producing is promoting him well enough that it's gonna be successful and that it's gonna be, you know, just known simultaneously with that kennel.
100%. I actually believe the buyer can actually promote better than the producer because the producer doesn't have to spend the bag. Once you spend the bag, bro, you gotta start working, man. You do. I mean, I spent the money on Solo, and you see me out there. I don't take pictures of my dogs. I don't need to. I mean, I should, but man, just that money, man, makes you go out and get those pictures.
It really
And they
does.
do. Look at
It really, really does, bro. You know, and not just that too, but as the likes come in and everything comes in, it motivates you, bro. At least me. You know, like when I go out there and get pictures, I don't like it sometimes, but most of the time, bro, I'm out there like, fuck yeah, we got this shot. You know what I mean?
Bro, I be seeing you have fun behind the scenes. You know, I've never shot a picture. I've never had a video shoot with you or anything like that. But behind the scenes, like I saw
Fun.
you swinging on a swing and
It's
shit,
fun.
or
Yeah,
you're over
it's
there
fun.
eating, or you know what I'm saying? Like
Every
you're always
time it's a
having fun with
vibe,
it.
bro, because that's genuinely what I love doing. You know what I
If
mean?
you don't get the picture, bro, have a good time. You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have a good time. It's all about having a good time, bro, at the end of the day, man. Go to a show, fuck it if you don't win. Have a good time.
Hell yeah. So one of the mistakes, like we covered up, what's another mistake that you see new breeders coming in? Like a big mistake.
Overexposure of their dog.
I could see that. I could see that.
Overexposure of their dog. Just trying to sell their dog to everybody. Instead of just taking that dog and breed it in your camp, I try to be an example of that. I don't ask for stud fees on my dogs. I breed my dogs inside my camp, produce a nice dog in every litter, better than the parent. That's what you should do with your dog first. When you do that, now you can go ahead and ask for money for breeding.
And I could see that because I've seen, especially like, it gives off like thirsty vibes. You know, when they got the little puppy and they're just, hey, lock in now, lock in, early lock in. You got until this day. And it's like, dude, nobody's locking in. Like,
Not in this era, bro. I mean, I didn't even lock in 30. He's fucking Kobe 2.0. Better than Kobe. I already know. I seen Kobe.
Yeah,
at
that
age.
dog's fucking
I didn't
crazy.
lock him in yet. I should have, but I didn't lock him. I could have got it paid in full. He gave me a crazy paid in full because he wants to see it go to my shit. But didn't do it because there's too many nice dogs right now. I'm not. I locked in a dog, bro. I locked in 2 dogs. I don't even know if they're alive right now.
What?
Just last
Hold on.
year, dog.
Was it a long time ago or was
No,
it?
it was like
What?
it was within the last like.
Let's rewind that. Like, what do you
It's
mean?
in the last year and a half. Like I kind of got into it because these stud prices came down and these
Yeah, they
lock-ins
did.
and these paid in fulls came up, and I was like, "Fuck, you get paid in full for like a G? I'll take that shit, smack." And then guess what? Where the fuck is the dog, bro? It's 16 months old. I want to breed to it.
And you haven't heard of it.
Now, oh, it's not. Yeah, I'm not gonna go there on anybody's camps for doing that shit, but.
You should,
Yeah,
man. Do
you
it.
know,
At this.
I mean, I stand on business. You know what I mean? So to me, business is business, and if you're not doing good business, then it kind of deserves to be exposed a little bit.
Facts.
And you know what? This industry is
We're with
full
the
of
B&B.
bad business, bro. I mean, that's why I only fuck with a certain kind of people because I don't like to do bad business, bro. I've had bad business done on me, and that'll drive you away from this industry faster than any fucking thing. Get burned on a dog, bro. Get burned on a dog, and it's so easy to walk away, bro. It really is at the end of the day. And you don't know what you could have done because it's all about the fucking passion, bro.
Have you thought about walking away?
I put a date on my walk away. And it was
So there's
really
still a
hard to
date,
do.
or-
Yeah, no, there's a walk away date. And I owe it to my lady because every good breeder has a solid woman behind him.
Shout out all the women.
I'm telling you, bro, every
That's
good
factual.
breeder I know is backed by a fucking badass lady, bro.
Facts.
Every breeder I know is backed by a badass lady.
You have to. I feel like you have to have stability at home
You
in order to
have
to,
have
bro.
a kennel. You have
You
to.
really,
have
really
to.
do.
You have to. I couldn't do it. I've been divorced and I was getting ready to get rid of dogs, and this woman walked in my life and she said, "Why you get rid of your dog?" I said, "Cause I gotta do this. I love plants and that's what gets me paid. And I can't do both. I can do one or the other. Those are my choices. I'm choosing plants over dogs." And she said, no. And maybe that was her way to get me, dog. I don't know. But she's been A1 ever since. She supports me heavy behind the dogs. I bought Solo, another dog. She's pissed because I'm not. She's just like, "God, stop." I'm like, I'm trying to. I don't like to buy dogs. I really don't, unless the dog is right there and we don't have it. You know, I don't have it, so I had to invest in Solo. I saw when he came to me when Solo was like, I don't know, 6-8 weeks old. He's like, "What do you think this dog is?" Like, "It's hard." And when he told me he was lilac, I said, "Fucking do not pass this opportunity up, bro. There's not a dog like him that's a lilac." There's
That deal,
no
that
bully
deal took
style
a while
Frenchie.
too, bro.
No,
a lot of people don't know this part of it, but when I inquired about Solo, it was a fucking bag, bro. You know, the whole deal of Solo wasn't overnight. This was a months on months process.
At least 2 months.
At least, you know, he hit me with the number. I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. It's his number. He can have it whatever he wants. But it took months on months to finally, because I knew there was a certain picture they posted of and I was stuck on it, bro. I'm like, I need this fucking dog, his face, his fronts. I don't have that.
Everything,
At
yeah.
the time, I had nothing with fronts in my yard. So when I seen that picture of
And
Solo,
you know me, I'm in his ear. I'm like, "Hey, bro, bully style Frenchies are coming. We need to do this.
yeah,
we need to do
and
this."
finally, we came up to something, and I'm like, you know what? We're bringing this motherfucker to the desert, bro, and the rest is history, you know? And when Solo touched down, I still, and I feel like this is how I'm with a lot of my studs. They come in my house, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not too fond of him, you know? It
Didn't
was,
like him.
I didn't really
I
care.
know he didn't.
He didn't like it
I
at
did
all.
his floor, and around the time when he got
Didn't like
Solo, and I remember seeing Solo, and he was like, "Yeah, no, he's
He's
cool."
not
He was
Biggie.
like,
He
"But
kept
watch,
comparing him to
he's-
Biggie.
He's not gonna get a lot of lock-ins like my other ones. Like,
Yeah.
watch."
Yeah, bro, because
And
there's
Shark
a
was on
specific,
fire.
That's
Shark was on
what
fire.
it was,
Shark
bro.
was on fire, bro.
I was just looking at his lock-ins today, bro, and within 3 months, he was already at like 64 lock-ins. Shark.
yeah.
So around that time, I was like, I don't know if this is it. But I knew that I needed to incorporate something exotic.
And you told me,
I
too, you're like, "I'm gonna hold on to him, though." He's like, "Cause nobody has this exotic look." He's
He
like,
needed
for
fronts,
reals, bro.
He
He
needed fronts, and I told him, "Dude, who's a front doctor?" And this bully style movement, I'm gonna tell you, Mi Familia, bro. He really
Which,
cares
by
about
the
his
way,
fronts.
Mi Familia really turned up because no lie, when you got Solo, that's what put me on him. I'm like, okay, who's this kennel that produced him? Then I saw Bolo, And then
Yeah.
I saw he had Tubbs, and I'm like, oh,
Tubbs was
shit.
the first dog with
you're like,
fronts.
this is where the look comes from.
Yeah, so then I'm like, oh shit. So I started following them, and then they started the podcast too. So I went back and I'm like, damn. I actually messaged him the other day, bro, and I'm like, damn, bro, buddy's moving up and shit, man.
Bro,
You
for
know, so
reals, bro.
that's-
And I feel
that's
like at
what's
the
up.
time, I don't really remember any bully style Frenchies in Arizona when Solo came here. You know
Nah,
what I
there
mean?
wasn't.
I don't think there really was, bro. If I'm not mistaken.
And see, that's a good topic. And especially from someone that's been in the dog game, because I went to prison for like almost 10 years. So when
It's a long
I
time.
I was gone for a long time. So when I got locked up, they had the pit bulls.
Yeah.
Bullies just came out when I got out, and even then I've watched the bullies transform, and I've
Into
also,
exotics.
and
Yeah.
I've also seen the Frenchies transform.
Right.
How do
That's-
what direction do you feel like the dog game is going as far as the bullies and the Frenchies? Because
So-
you dabble in both.
So what's happening right now is the Frenchie, without mudding it up, is becoming a bully. We are finally to a point, because of specific breeders didn't give a fuck about size, and they were going on fronts.
Yeah.
And they built these fronts on these dogs. I'm gonna tell you, bro, the Northern California owns the fronts. If it wasn't for Northern California, I don't think the evolution of the Frenchie was even
Who do you think?
possible.
What kennels do you think are up there holding it down for the fronts?
I'm gonna give Bayline huge props for bringing Grinch in here. I got my things with Grinch. We'll talk about that's a whole nother topic.
That could be a whole nother
Yeah, we gotta
episode.
get to
That's a
that one, though,
whole
'cause now
nother
I'm curious.
episode. That's a whole nother episode. But Grinch, when I saw him coming into the country. I saw him and I looked at him as Mr. Miyagi. When I saw him come, I saw him and I generalized him as Mr. Miyagi coming into the Frenchie world, and he was going to do what Miyagi did, and he has done it. He's the only ambassador to the Frenchie breed that has a fucking legitimate brand, bro.
Yeah.
Hands fucking down. He's got a bloodline that's legitimate. It's paid for. It's certified. There's a couple of bloodlines that are almost there. They're just not quite there because the breeder has fallen off.
That is really facts, bro. That is fucking factual. Even in my little 2.5 years, I've seen people that, were my icons. They were right there about to, I'm not going to say do the same thing as him, but in the sense of getting to a fucking peak, just fucking vanish, bro.
I've seen
Why that is, you know what I mean? Everyone has their own reasons, but at
What
the
do
end
you
of the
think
day,
that is? Being in the dog game that long, you've gained some knowledge, you've seen some shit.
yeah, you've seen a lot.
Going with DNA fucks your shit up bad, man. So it's hard to add color and where the color is coming from to phenotype the blood you're bringing it into. So
Yeah, you're gonna have to break that down.
The reason I use Dogtown is because the phenotype behind the dog was what the structure of the Frenchie really looked like. So I knew I could pack that shit and have good structure and color and get it all in one package, and then I could go ahead and evolve that by going in and changing the features of the dog. Because from breeding, I've talked to other breeders that have taken a standard Frenchie and evolved it in a couple generations to look like the bloodline they want. So at the end of the day, you could take a generalized fluffy with good structure and turn it into a Grinchy if you put in the time.
And that's crazy, because I've seen that as well. I've seen it done, where he just said someone will grab a standard show dog, no fronts or anything. And within 3 gens, it looks like a totally different dog. And you would not know that they started their foundation with a standard straight leg AKC show dog unless they told you. Yep. And it's fucking crazy.
100%. So speaking of Frenchie's evolution, do you feel like there's going to be like different categories soon for the French Bulldog? How you said the bully Frenchie, you think that's going to be a category?
So
and then
if you see a story I posted today, I went ahead and put out there, I will not go to your show unless you offer a category for a bully style Frenchie, because I believe that's the new movement. Fuck DNA. I can make this dog bully style and I can add DNA.
And what do you mean by bully style for the people that don't know?
So I want structure that's extreme. In other words, I want shoulders on the outside of the frame, not underneath the leg. It can be a straight leg, but I want the shoulders on the outside. So you see a shoulder definition.
Prefer bows?
Preferred bows, but it's hard to get. It's something you got to double down on. It's just like DNA. It takes 2 copies to make bows.
Does it really?
That's probably too much game. Fuck. I'm doing the same shit
Is
Stat did the other day. I'm just giving
really?
too much game to you
I
guys.
didn't know that. Is that really a thing? Like, let's say I took a standard female, well, not standard. Let's just say I took a gorilla female, a little beefed up female. She doesn't have the bows. And let's say I ran her to solo.
So you run her to solo, you're not going to have bows on your first gen. You're going to have carriers of bows. It's just like DNA.
I'm learning over here now.
It's the same as
it's
like
the same thing. Yep.
Oh,
I thought that could have been passed on one breeding.
I thought so too.
Just because of Solo's so fucking bowed up.
He's extreme.
It can be passed if they're carriers. Like I got this bitch named Shady. She's a carrier shoulders, bro. She's the first dog I ever made with shoulders.
And how would you know? Is there a DNA for it, or you just know?
I look at the shoulder makeup and how the shoulder's designed. Mm-hmm. So I can sit there and look at a dog, even as a puppy or not, and look at how the shoulder's designed and then say whether I'm going to keep that dog or not, or that's the one or not. Just off being like 3-4 weeks old, getting up and just seeing how the shoulder's set, I'll know if that's a dog.
Yeah. From the first month.
For like as soon as they get up onto their fronts, I know that's the one I'm going to keep.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I'm in a stage in my career where I'm only getting 1 with fronts. Maybe 2. I do have breedings where I am 1 copy fronts to my straight shit, and I'm getting short legs on them, so I'm right there.
What about because I've had this myself. I've had puppies that have fronts, like when you see them as puppies, they're sitting there like, and it's like, whoa, shit. But then when they grow up, it's when you look at them later on, it's all straight.
Yeah, I've had the same thing happen.
I
swore it was a hitter though,
I
bro.
Swear to God,
no,
bro.
what it is you really got to see how loose the shoulder is. I call it a loose shoulder. So the loose shoulder is the shoulder that will go ahead and sit out on the dog, where so you can go ahead and flop the dog open like this. You can take the dog's elbows and go ahead and open it up. That's a loose shoulder. Most dogs don't have that. If a puppy can have that, but they still set up standard, but they still flare out, that's, I wouldn't say 1 copy of bows, but that's what it takes to make bows.
Okay, what's another gem you could drop on us, man? Something that's something that you would really recommend that people start learning about, that people really
just pick up a mentor, man. Pick up somebody that really cares about this shit and is really doing it and evolving it, and they can talk to you and you can understand them. Someone like me, I'm not going to say I'm going to just let anybody in my situation because I don't produce enough dogs. Like, I produce dogs, I don't sell them till they're 8 months old because I want to make sure my partner is getting a badass dog, like a dog that I want.
So you don't sell any puppies until they're 8 months?
Yep.
Even pet homes? Do you sell pet homes?
I sell my pet homes, yeah. And I do most pet homes because the reason I can breed dogs is because I have pet home dogs. Because I'm not scared to sell a dog to a pet home. I think it's the greatest thing I can do for my own bloodline is sell it to a pet home. Because I'm not going to have competition to breed my blood.
I've heard that before.
Yeah. I've heard that too.
So, I mean, you're not only going to get this until you've done it as long as I have. When you start getting competition, you realize, like, I've created dogs that have created the best dogs in the industry. I've put what I think is the best dog in the industry. I put 2 dogs in his pedigree. So for me to do that, I know I can cook, right? So I'm just sitting back and I'm not forcing the issue, but I'm paying way more attention than anybody else, dude. I really am. Because I have so much writing on this shit. Just like a lot of these other guys, Me Familia, CSB, Gold Blooded, Cali Connect, we have a lot riding on this shit, and I personally, I'm not on the level as a home team, but I'm right there. You can talk to any of those guys, my blood's right there.
Hell yeah.
That's why I'm gonna bring that shit out here to Arizona, I'm telling you. And this guy right here is gonna help me, and he's the only one that really wants to do it with me. Everybody else is kind of like, is this gonna be in more DNA shit? Because they've all been tricked by DNA, bro. You've all gone through it and dropped bags on DNA.
What's crazy is I've even seen the DNA. A lot of people that are into DNA will actually try to incorporate fronts now. Where I'm going on my feed and I'm like, damn, because it's not something you see every day. You know, a fluffy big rope that has fronts.
I feel like
you know?
Texas got that on lock, dude. They got them fluffies with the fronts. I mean,
They do.
The Frenchie Pro
Their legs
Shop,
are fucking long,
Maui
though, bro.
and them. Like,
They're-
all, if you look at
Yeah.
all them fluffies, they're just...
Their legs are long, though, bro. It's the same thing. It takes dwarfism to get a short leg. I learned a lot in just his last few years from Himline. Himline really broke down structured DNA to me. I didn't understand structured DNA quite like I did until him. I give him mad props because he didn't have to do what he did, bro. He educated a lot of motherfuckers. He made a lot of good breeders, bro. His camp is probably, I'm not just dick riding this fool because personally I don't agree with a lot of shit he does, but he does set everybody the fuck up to win. And that's what a good breeder does, bro. At the end of the day, you set your clients up to fucking win.
Yeah.
Period.
No, I've tuned into some of his lives and I'm like, damn, this dude is talking about, that was the first time I heard of dwarfism. You know what I mean? They have a copy of this and copy of that. And before, to me, it was like you're going to breed the look to this look, or
Yeah.
with DNA, you know you're going to get a copy if you breed 2 copies type of thing. But that was the first guy that I seen actually came in, you know, regardless if I agree with the way that he is and, you know, his personal self, he actually does know his shit when it comes to breeding, pairing dogs up, you know, all of that type of shit. And I'll tell him that, you know, because not a lot of people do. I didn't know, you know, I didn't even know dwarfism was really a like a gene, you know what I mean? Like something that if you have
You
2
wanna pass
copies,
down.
exactly.
See, what I've learned about a lot of the structured people, you know, that learn phenotypes and stuff, is that they don't give out game. Like, they rather hold on to it.
They do.
And you get, when you do get something out of them, it's like just the bare minimum. Like you know what I'm saying?
It might be enough though that you can implement.
I
You know,
dropped
'cause
too
there's-
much game. I
there's
tell
a-
you that. I dropped way too much game tonight. Ask anybody in Cali, they're gonna say that fucking dude dropped too much game.
So let me ask you this, because this is kind of a question that I've had. When it comes to, you know, the bully style Frenchie, is it the line breeding, the inbreeding? How long do you think it's going to take to where we can look at a bully style Frenchie and not have to compromise the feet, you know, the eyes, the tongue hanging out?
I'll fix that. The tongue hanging out is a bulldog trait. I'm gonna tell you, these bully style dogs coming descendants of a bulldog, English bulldog. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop some shit. Probably gonna get some haters for this, but I do believe Grinch's father was not who his father was supposed to be. Just like Miyagi's father was not Marcelo.
boom.
Boom, dude.
Boom.
That I fucking know. I'm not gonna go any deeper, but we could do another segment on that if you like to hear my side of
Yeah,
the
because I've
story.
always been curious, because it's like, don't get me wrong. Me personally, I know if I'm getting into a bully style Frenchie that I'm gonna have to compromise a little bit of the feet, which this guy is big on feet. You know what I mean? He'll tell me straight up, bro, the nails, no, look at the feet. I look at faces first. He looks at feet, straight up.
I'm a feet man.
So to me, when I look at bully style Frenchies, I love them. But I've noticed, and I know a lot of people notice, that the feet aren't always perfect. You know what I mean? You'll have one fisheye sometimes. The tongue
You
might
get a
hang
long
out.
tongue
So
hanging out to the
how long
side.
do you think it'll take, you know, for someone like us cooking with Solo to correct some of those features? High rears, you know what I mean? Little things like that.
Solo has features that will help. I was really happy when I went ahead and got involved in the dog. I was looking at him real close, and he was fixing shit that I'm starting to get sloppy on. Like, I'm getting longer tongues where my puppies are hanging out with their tongues, and my bully style Frenchies.
Yeah.
You know, pushing their teeth a little more because that fucking bottom tongue hangs out. Stuff bulldog shit. That's bulldog shit. That's how I know my Frenchie's got bulldog in it, you know? Because I have heavy bulldog traits, you know? And I'm doubling up on them. So to actually, like, take Bino, for example. I love the fucking dog, bro. He's a badass. Can I breed to him? Not yet, because I got a bad tongue. But I could also be a breeder who doesn't give a fuck about the tongue, you know? But then I wouldn't be pristine.
You know, I recently heard about the tongue being an issue in bullies. You know, with Frenchies, I really don't deal with that problem so much. But
Because-
with bullies, I did hear that recently. Like, the tongue was
The
too
more
long in the
bulldog
tongue.
traits you get, a long tongue is a bulldog trait. The bows are a bulldog trait. So
Yeah.
if you have those, you're heavy. You got heavier bulldog bloodlines. In there, maybe you washed out more American Bully or more Frenchie, but you still have the traits. And I get it because I line breed my Grinch shit. I outcross it with my Dogtown because my Dogtown ain't a bulldog in it. And then I go in the Grinchy shit, and I know it's got bulldog in it, and I breed the shit out of it, and I see the traits coming out right now. I'm on like pretty heavy Grinch shit where I wouldn't even say it's Dogtown anymore. It's more Grinch, and it's got long tongues, bulldog tongues. I can look at I've been around all these breeds, and I just fuck, it's got a lot of bulldog in him. But hey, I didn't do it. I didn't add it, and I'm gonna say the Grinch shit when he came to America it was already added.
Yeah.
The Miyagi shit, he added that shit. So it's a little bit different. But I'm going to tell you, between what Joe and George did, Joe copied George. Because that's how he laid out the Grinch line so well. He, to a T, did it like Miyagi, bro. It was done the same way, the editing, the photos, the everything, the pricing, everything to a goddamn T.
It was copy-paste.
It was copy-paste. Copy-paste is just like everybody copy-paste this guy.
I was about to say, but sometimes, in his case it worked, but a lot of times it doesn't. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people tell me, they're like, bro, like, this guy's copying right now. And I'm like, I see it all the time. But in the back of my head, like way, way back there, I'm like, but it's not that easy, Like it's on the daily. But to actually copy and paste and it hitting,
it's a different
pretty
story,
fucking non-existent, bro.
Yeah,
So to do that, he really fucking hit the jackpot on that shit. Because
came up.
Yeah, bro. I mean, even till this day, one of the main things, if you're a structure breeder, that you're probably gonna hear from a new breeder when they're selling you a puppy, oh, this dog has Grinch in it. Oh, this is a Grinch. You know what I mean? Like, he really, really laid a foundation of building a fucking brand,
everybody, their dogs aren't even phenotyping Grinch. And
exactly.
Like, 10 times Grinch. Bro.
And you look at the dog.
You don't even have the eyes.
For me, when someone tells me the pedigree, I can give a fuck less, bro, because the dog has to have the look.
Yep.
It has to have the look. I don't care if it's 20 times Grinch, 30 times Grinch. I don't care if the dad is fucking Grinch. If the dog does not look the part, I'm not going to put my money on it, because I'm not going to say, you know what, let's gamble. Let me hope that she produces. No, bro. She has to have the fucking look, or he has to have the look. It goes both ways.
Yep.
Facts.
But let's get into these questions. I want to hit a couple of these, because there was actually some good shit in here. So, let me see. So what is the main difference between a new breeder's mentality versus someone who's been breeding, for 10 plus years?
And just understanding that, bro, it's not that breeding. It's all the breedings you do to make that breeding.
Do you think that a lot of it comes off of, like, how important do you think promoting is? Like, do you feel like in this day of age, you kind of have to be a promoter? Or do you think that, as long as you produce dope dogs, that as long as you give it a little bit of light, it'll turn up?
My style?
Yeah, no, I want to know your style, because I know my take on it. I just want to know, like,
style, the way I build is I produce dogs, I raise my dogs, and then I sell my dogs. I'll sell my dogs based off of what they are. I'm not going to sell you a puppy for money, bro. Just not going to. I personally, because at the end of the day, I might have to replace that dog. I'm not going to give you something that I don't want.
That's good business.
And how much is a puppy going for her to get one from Pristine right now?
I only co-own shit. I do not sell dogs outright.
You only co-own?
Yep.
Interesting.
And the reason I do that, man, is because I want you to learn. I don't want you, because I've done it before. So my productions, they run off with it and breed it. They get nowhere, bro. I sold them a $10,000 dog and they've gotten nowhere with it, bro. And I don't like to see that. See someone drop a bag, get nowhere.
What about a breeder who's been breeding for a while? Like someone you don't have to mentor?
Say they're coming to me because they need the blood.
Or you got a dog, you got something they want.
Well, now they're coming to me because they need the blood. So
you ain't dumb, huh? You know what it is.
I know what it is. No breeders coming to me unless they need the blood. And I'm going to be fair with it. I want to own it with you, bro. I do. At the end of the day, be honest with me. Tell me why you want my blood. I'll give it to you, dog. At the end of the day, let me run with you.
Hell yeah.
Because I have ruined my career by selling my best dogs.
Can you elaborate on that?
I sold my best dogs to a couple camps that came the fuck up, and if I would have coned those dogs, I would be with those camps today. And I'm not. And maybe it was because I didn't know what I had. Now I know what I have. You know, it's taken me 10 fucking years to bring these little fucking perky ass rabbit hopping around, motherfucker, to understand what I have, man. I got greatness.
So now that you know what you have, where is Pristine going, and what direction is they going? We already know that you want to continue
So I'm stepping down out of my show career as in producing dogs that are to win registry shows. I'm now chasing the dog that wins fun shows. Okay. I own the most winningest Frenchie on the West Coast when it comes to non-AKC events.
Hell yeah.
And when my dog does lose to the other dogs, it's just because they feel sorry for...
Because he's always winning.
Because my dog wins a lot, you know? And I watch everybody sends me the best in shows, and I watch them, and I watch my dog untouched stack, do everything that the owner or the handler and dog needs to do to win a dog show. And they don't win, and it's just straight because he wins too much.
And which dog is that that's winning all these shows?
I'm going to bring him out here to Arizona because we're doing this little Sweet 16 stack off. And it's a couple grand, and I actually am willing to put up probably another $1,000.
Oh, make it spicy.
Shout out to Bark Madness, man.
I'm probably potentially going to do it, you know, because I'm not, I'm going to say it's biased if my dog wins, but I do want the competition.
You want all the smoke.
I want all the smoke. I do want all the smoke. And hey, at the end of the day.
What's the name of the dog?
His name is Grand Champion Ragnarsson.
Ragnarsson.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
I named him after a legend, Viking legend.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if it's a real, you know, but I do. There's a little thing I went through where I was just engulfed in Viking shit. I don't know what it was. It was just like, kind of like what conquistadors were, but like a old school version of conquistadors.
No, 100%. You know? I get it.
Yeah. So in your career right now, what do you like? What would you go back like if you can go? You know,
not sell my fucking first pitch.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah. What would you change that you've done? You know, now that you have so many years under your belt.
I wish I would have kept back a couple dogs because I ended up back with the dog, but it was not the best that. I ended up back with the dog, but a shittier generation of that dog. So there was dogs that I had to get rid of as first picks because I owed first pick pup backs on bitches I bought. That at the end of the day, I had to go back and buy those bitches off of that dude to get my shit back. That's where I wish I never or let's just say I wish I had a bigger bag when I got into this.
So you told us that you're going after that your vision is now gorilla style Frenchies.
It's bully style Frenchies.
Bully style Frenchies.
Yeah, like my vision is to go ahead and take the bully style Frenchie and let's evolve it.
Will you ever go? That was my question. Will you ever go DNA or add DNA to that?
I already have all of the DNA. I have a bitch right now that I made that she phenotypes Grinch and she's going to solo. And it'll be the highest DNA heavy Grinch bred dog on the planet. It's a one of one.
We're talking like pink, koi.
Oh, that shit. Mutt shit. Oh, mutt shit.
We're talking fluffy.
You want me to add mutt shit?
We're talking
shit?
DNA,
okay.
DNA.
I was talking about, I was going to go ahead and go on Merle being a fucking mutt shit. Just because like, Dogtown brought Merle to America, by the way. In case you don't fucking know that.
I didn't know that.
Oh, we could talk to Vince about it, but he paid and brought the first Merle to the U.S. Traded the Merle to Bully Kings, and Bully Kings just pimped that shit the fuck out. Everybody, bro, all Motown, all the Merle shit comes from this dog, bro. And I actually bred this little tiny crazy Dogtown dog bitch I paid $7,000 for on the co-own to this dog, and I got fucking Pyramitra. And then I was like, fuck, man. And that was my hit to just go ahead and take the Merle game over, and I gave up after that. And then I didn't even take Merle serious until I could bring it into the Grinchy shit. Because Grinchy, I think Shocker's the only Merle. And Shocker to me is not a pure Grinch. He's like a half and half. He's half Grinchy, half outcross.
Yeah.
And that's my whole thing is like, I only fuck with pure Grinchies. I don't even consider my stuff I'm making even fully Grinchy yet. But it's heavy. Like my new stuff is heavy Grinch. I got all the Grinch features.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to cook. Like, I got this little bitch named Tazy. It's crazy because I'm getting ready to co-own her. I don't want to co-own her because I would like to take this all to myself when I create this dog. But, you know, hey, you want to ride with me, bro? Let's go ahead and do this shit.
That's the way that I am, too. And the way that I look at it, it's like, man, you know, like, I run a family-owned business with my kennel, so my dogs aren't really kenneled up. You know, they're with the kids, they're running around, they're roaming, and it's like, you know what? If somebody else can give this dog a good life, you know, show more one-on-one love with it, and I could still do what I do and you know, continue to breed and, you know, use this dog for what I need.
Educate the person.
And educate the person. So it's like a win-win. Like, you know what, man? Let's roll, man. You know, there's enough room for everybody.
There is. At the end of the day, like, and you do it as long as me, you do want to get a little fame out of this shit, you know? At the end of the day, I do want a little recognition because I don't get recognition for the dogs that I created because the way I labeled my dogs when I made them, I never gave myself credit for the dogs I made. I gave them to Dogtown. I always put Dogtown in front of the dogs I made because I didn't take credit for that shit till my third gen. So after and I only did it with one thing that I went outhouse with was my Grinch stuff. And the only reason I went Grinch is because Sal and Chris bought Dawn and they're like, yo, you got a bad bitch. That's the baddest bitch Dawn's ever gone to. Let's go. Boom. Created Misha, bro. Misha's a fucking, man, you just talk to him, old Misha, hey. And then I kept her sister. And her sister was a cleft palate, just scrunt, raggedy dog, bro. But that bitch produced for me. I'm telling you, bro, you can have the ugliest fucking dog as long as you give a shit about what that dog is and you take care of that dog, she's going to produce.
And that's another thing, too. So you've done a lot of breedings. When it comes to, you know, someone that hasn't done a lot of AIs or stuff, what would you recommend to someone when they're, you know, either doing a PG? Like, what is most vital to you, being that you've done it so many times? A lot of PGs, you know, hitting, you know, what do you always make sure you do when you do your breedings?
So right now I'm going through the hardest breeding I've ever had to do. I'm trying to breed Shady to Solo because I've seen Shady bred to Chapo and she made a bitch named Godzuki, the hardest fucking Frenchie on the planet. Hands down, I would pay, if I had $100,000, I'd buy her.
Godzuki?
Godzuki.
I need to see her now.
He won't sell her. He will not sell any of his blood because he spent a bunch of time on it and he didn't get where he wanted to, so he's going to keep it all and not let anybody have it. And he was the first to take Chapo to Panda. And if you know those bloodlines, then you'd be like, fuck, he was the first. I tried to buy all his bitches and he just will not sell them. There's trophies. At the end of the day, I have to recreate this bitch and Solo's the only dog that can do it. I know for a fucking fact, and this has been the hardest breeding I've ever fucking had. If I get this bitch pregnant, I'm gonna say I'm gonna fuck the game up. I swear to God.
And you heard it here first, folks, behind the breeders.
Fuck the game up. I'm telling you, I'm gonna have an outcross. This bitch is just different, bro. I just hope I get a bitch. If I get a male with nuts, I'm not gonna really want him because he's too outcrossed. I'm gonna want a bitch. That's what I want out of it, and I usually get what I want because I work fucking hard for my shit, dog. Ask my wife. Ask anybody who knows me, bro. I work hard for my shit. I really believe in what I do, bro.
And you know, I'm glad you bring up, like, one of my mottos is if you do right by the dog will do right by you, man. And I see you're living by that, and you're living proof of that, and I love it, man. You know,
come to my house, bro. Look how my dogs live. They all have beds, bro. They all get the same fucking treatment, bro.
And that's what I love, man, because we were talking about, you know, bad co-owned deals that we've had, and I had a situation myself where the dude just kept the dog in the kennel, you know, and just a shitty life for the animals, man, where I don't feel like they keep these dogs as if they were the fun trophies that they bring home instead of, you know, the dog paying bills, you know, helping elevate their lives, you know,
and then they wonder why the litters are dying. You know what I mean? The dogs aren't taking, you know, and I see that a lot. Because I even have a couple of my studs, you know, in different houses. And I'll look, they post a dog every day, bro. There's nothing that really hits than seeing that dog live a fucking amazing life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's
It's unmatched, bro.
It's true.
It really, really is.
It's true. If I can do it, I always want my dogs to go better than what I give them.
Yeah.
And I give my dogs good because I'm the pickiest people about feet, bro. I give supplements to all my puppies. At the end of the day, I spend almost like $600 a year on supplements for like the dogs I keep.
Hell yeah.
It's crazy. And it's just calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus. I just like the same shit plants get. You know, at the end of the day, I'm getting more bone. So I look at the mom and then I look at the kid and I'm getting more bone off it. And it's the supplements. Like, yeah, I'm doing better readings, but I still think supplements help. It's just like, if I grow good cannabis because of supplements.
Oh, yeah.
Because I understand supplements. And I know what the ladies need and I know what the dogs need, bro. And I just supplement that and, man, it makes a big difference. It really does at the end of the day. And if I could really feed my dogs the way I want to, I would. I just can't, bro. It's $5 a pound. I have 10 dogs. I have 10 dogs minimum, bro. I can't do that because they eat better than me at the end of the day.
Oh, I understand that.
Fuck. And maybe one day if they make money like Jesus,
That's what I keep telling them. I'm like, look, bro, you're gonna get in the kitchen, because I didn't produce a lot at first, and that's why I'm happy to co-own Solo with him, because I know that he's gonna produce his ass off with them.
Yeah.
So once we get this dog that he's gonna cook, bro, it's to the fucking top. You know what I mean? I told him, look, bro, cook, I'll promote, it's game over. It really, really fucking is.
This is why I ride with him, bro, because I've watched this kid since day one. I always told him he probably does. At the time, I was like, maybe trying to push him, but I did have this belief. He's a top 5 breeder in this country. I do believe in 10 years. He's a top 5. I actually think he could take out certain kennels I don't want to say because he has drive, bro, that it's hard to see where he gets it from. To this day, I still don't know where it came from. All I did was tell him he has a fire-ass fucking dog and to go to the Bully Grammys. And I'm going to kick your fucking ass because I knew it's the only time I was going to kick his ass was the Bully Grammys.
Biggie was like 5 months.
Biggie was still like 5 or 6 months.
In that little weird
sketching.
stage.
I had Lazy at like 8 months and I had Q-Tip at 2 years. I fucking smoked him. But
He did.
come the
I
next
came home
couple
with the little
shows.
third place.
No, I saw Biggie hit his pop 8 months. I said, fuck, I actually am going to go ahead and just cease and desist with Lazy because I didn't want to hurt his image.
Yeah.
He was a nice dog, but I wasn't going to let Biggie shine on him.
You just
Lazy
wasn't
is
gonna let
nice,
that
though.
happen.
Lazy is really, really
He
nice.
does produce great dogs, and a lot of people don't breed to him right now because I tell them not to because I'm pushing Solo. But you're gonna see me breed my Lazy kids to Solo, and you're gonna be like, "Fuck, why'd you not push Lazy to get something?" Because people don't have the time, the patience. Everyone wants to shit right off the rip, and it's not the. It's everyone is gonna be. It's about that breeding. It's about the breedings that get you to that breeding, bro. I'm gonna tell you every fucking time. It's the breedings that get you to that breeding. Everybody's, oh, it's that breeding. I'm doing that breeding. It's not that breeding because I think I'm doing that with Shady right now. And it's not the one. I'm just trying to get her pregnant, and it's the hardest thing. And it's just to get those puppies to get that fucking breeding. That's the breeding
It's
right
just
there.
to get those puppies to
That's a
get
cool
that
way to
breeding.
think about
Hell
it.
yeah.
Because I think the other way. So that's cool to actually hear that aspect of it.
And that's just my belief. I don't know. I'm not gonna say I know everything about breeding, but I've learned a fucking lot, bro. I've been doing this shit a long time, and I think that I could potentially leave the game by the time my kids are out of high school, and I will have the nicest dog on the planet.
Hell yeah. That's a hell of a goal, man. So we've touched so many topics. What's a message that you would have to say to all your followers? What's a message you'd want to say?
To everybody that kind of thinks I'm a little bit of a dick, and I can be. I'm a little bit harsh. I'm a little bit old school, but believe in what you got, And don't give up on that. And please don't settle for a male, bro. I'm telling you, these females can make your life change. If you believe in what you believe in, stick to your vision, believe in it, spend the money, know this. It will happen, bro. If you really do it, it's happened for me. That's the only reason I'm telling you to go ahead and pursue your dreams is because it's happened to me. I have gotten somewhere where I never thought I would really actually be at the end of the day, But I have not yet to produce the dog I want, which is a male, but I produce females that hella help make the males that are hot today in this country. You know?
Oh, yeah.
And I believe America has the best dogs in the world.
Oh, 1,000%.
Nice.
I'll stand on that too. Oh yeah.
We do have the potential to actually be the best breeders in the world. And at the end of the day, we should go ahead and do that, man. We just got to believe in ourselves.
Facts.
Believe in your vision, bro. Stick to your vision. Just because you hear mine, you don't have to like what you believe in, bro. Believe in that. Eat, sleep, that mission.
And that's one of the hardest things today, bro, is a lot of people, they hear one guy's vision, they see one guy's vision, and they throw theirs right out the fucking door. You know what I mean?
Because it
oh,
sounds good. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't. Stick
Happens
to
a
it.
lot.
Stick to it.
What's a message that you would have for your haters? I know you got some.
Keep watching, bitches. Keep watching because I'm just getting started. Trust
Hell
me.
yeah.
Trust me. My goal is one day you buy a dog for me. That's
Hell
it.
yeah.
And that normally how it goes too.
That's normally how it goes.
The ones that'll lock in the dog are the ones that were hating on you heavy, bro.
Yep.
Heavy, heavy, heavy.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the episode, man. I think, we're going to run out of time here soon. And I know there's so much that we could still top on and talk about later on and stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
maybe later we'll have you come back
Oh,
on.
yeah. No,
There's a lot of topics, man. There's a lot of questions, but we can do an episode 2 of this one, but we'll get it knocked out, bro. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all tuning in.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
man.
no, for real. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, and share. See you guys next week.
It's Behind the Breeders, baby. Let's go.
Much
Boom.
love.
Boom, boom.